Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Refined Teen Perspective. I'm Aryan Goshalia and I'm joined by Johar and Veer.
What's
Hello.
up?
So, today is an interesting topic. We're going to be talking about societal norms and kind of just society in general. One of you want to go in depth as to kind of more about like our subtopics in there? Because that seems it's a very general topic. So,
hmm
what specifically are we going to talk about today, guys?
Uh,
Yeah, I can. You can touch upon it, and then I'll add on.
Actually, no. I think you'd be better suited for this one, to be honest.
Okay, sure. So basically, we have two main subtopics. They're basically, essentially, they're pretty good. They have a pretty good correlation. So the first one is good and bad does not exist, and again, our second one is society is a carefully constructed lie. So again, as you can see, we can go really in depth into both these topics and expand on them to a great extent.
Yeah. All
Uh,
right. Well, uh, this we have only two subtopics today, so it could possibly be
a
a
pretty short
short
episode.
episode, but it's okay. We'll figure something out.
We can expand on
So
this really like really deeply here.
Yeah.
So let's just
yeah,
We
begin.
we had a
I
conversation
mean,
about this before. Well, one of them.
yeah, we didn't even know we didn't know what we were gonna do today until 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and
it's
I think
fine
this
though.
topic is really powerful. Like in like
Oh,
Uh,
and we're not filming on Audacity anymore. We're filming straight from Discord, so that's cool. New changes. We're upgrading people. All
all
right.
right,
Anyway,
so let's
let's start.
it's
begin.
kind of a
Anyways,
downgrade.
so I
Anyways.
think the best way to like start this off, like every single world war or any war in general that's happened, there's always two sides to it, and there's always two sides to a problem. And you can use that like basis to prove that there's no such thing as good and bad. It's merely off what side you're on. You can
Oh,
think you can think you're saving the world, but you're destroying someone else's, and vice versa.
I
And
think a
every
lot of
single person has that
people.
kind of perspective.
Yeah. Like onto that. Like how you're saying like for example like the wars, right? I think a
Mhm.
lot of people like for example like there a lot of people agree that there's no strict such thing like as strictly like good and bad, right? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't almost no one agrees with that. uh and they always agree there's a spectrum to it, but I feel like we should like I think we as humans we should completely throw away the concept of good and bad because it's incredibly subjective, and the only reason that it's like universally agreed upon is because that's kind of like what nurtures humans and our society itself, like kind of governs it, like these
No, but
concepts of good and bad. So without it, it would all fall apart
people have like
regardless.
a good, something good is something that like it like helps your survival. Yeah, everyone has their own good and bad, but if you have your own good, you can use that to like figure out which values you want to follow and what kind of things you want to do based off your concept of good, and
Yeah.
bad tells you the things you're not supposed to do.
No,
But
but
not everyone
if
will have the
someone
same
comes
aspect.
along and has no concept of good and bad, and it still messes with everyone
But then
around them.
how would they be human then? Like how would they know like they would be clueless as to the world around them. What are they gonna do if they don't know what's good or bad for them? Well, they just
For
trial
them,
and error
no, good
everything
and
till they figure it
bad,
out.
good and bad. I mean morally. I don't mean good and
There's
bad
no
for their health or to keep them alive. And they do what they want, and if they want to do something that'll get them killed, I guess that's
But
their
how
fault.
how will they how will they want to do anything if they don't know what to do?
They don't need to know
Will
what
they
to
just
do. Good
so
and
then
bad doesn't
what
govern
what will their
them
be
know
course of
what to
action? What
do.
what will be their course of action in society if they have no concept of good and bad
They
whatsoever
simply
morally?
do what they wish to do. They see things. Let's say that you see a list of things you want to do. You just see them and you're like, oh, I'd like to do this. Then you do them. You don't do it based on what society sees as good and bad. Like let's say this society has like I don't know, it's pretty advanced, so we've got like banks and stuff. If someone says they
hmm
want to rob a bank, then they do it. It's simple as that,
But why would someone want to rob a bank in the first place?
because they want money,
they need money
Why would they want money?
because they need to eat.
because they're poor.
Because they want to eat, not because they need to. They because they don't know the difference between needs and wants. So maybe what they want is what gets them killed. That doesn't matter. I'm
Well,
saying
that's not always true.
I'm
Sometimes
saying maybe.
sometimes people rob sometimes people rob because they need something.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
Like
I'm saying
yeah, I think most of the time it's selfish though.
that's it doesn't necessarily mean good and bad doesn't necessarily mean what we need uh to stay alive. Good and bad just means uh just how we wish to regard this world.
Yeah. There's
But
there's no
if you have no concept of
like
good and bad,
line.
and you like I don't know, consume media or listen to other people's ideas, what would you make of them? Would they just be meaningless to you?
No,
Probably.
you just swing either way, whichever one you support.
How
Isn't
would you
that
support
basically
something
what?
if you don't know
It,
what's good or bad for you? What would you do?
you
Would
don't
you just
know.
choose like whatever
It's
you're
Yeah,
feeling
well,
that
that
day?
that's
it's
the thing.
subjective.
It's
I
like,
meant I meant like a
yeah,
subjective
good or
version of
bad is
good and bad.
subjective for everyone. That's what politics is. It's what you decide what you
Yeah,
think
but
is
it
good versus what
on a
you
more
think is bad.
extreme
No,
level.
but yeah, but that's really based on your like your personal situation and your own benefit. There's still a concept of good and bad for you. You
Yeah,
think
for
that
you
oh, good is more
subjectively. Yeah.
money and more voice in the government. But if you don't have any concept of good and bad, who would you vote for?
You
No
just
one.
don't vote.
You
I
just
mean,
vote for who
I feel like
who
then I
suits
feel
your
like at that
personal
point it
agenda.
just goes down to I feel like at that point it just goes down to what your friends vote for, you know? Like if you
It's
have no concept of good or bad, you tend to leech on to what
but
your
they might
friend or
not have
people
a
Yeah,
around
good
you
and
I
think.
can
bad.
see peer pressure being a factor there. I can see that definitely.
I'm saying okay,
Yeah.
if we have an entire society that doesn't have a set constant of good and bad, right? Like right now we do live in that society, you know. We know that fundamentally murdering people and robbing people and like extreme crimes
Yeah.
like
We know that like
that we
murder
regard
is
as
bad,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
because
what
you're
we
if it
taking
was
regard
a
someone's
as
man's
bad.
life.
That's what we
Yeah,
regard as bad because it's been drilled into us since the beginning of human civilization. I'm just saying,
yeah.
let's say we take not even an inverse. I'll talk about an inverse society later, but let's just say we live in a society where it would probably fall apart, but that's not the point. The point is not about whether the society is stable or not. It's just simply
I mean, even
what
with
we
that
should
though,
do
there's so
think
much
about
gray
that.
area. It's
Yeah,
like we know murdering or taking someone's life is bad, but what if
but do
it's
we?
like in self-defense? You
But
know, like what if you're taking someone else's life for your own life? Now that can just be portrayed as selfish, even though it's not, obviously. But
No,
what
yeah,
you
if
know,
you're
when
I'm
you
just
get
just
to
simply
saying.
that,
murdering
there
because you
can be
want
good and
to?
bad. That's why would you
Wait,
do that?
I'm
I
just
mean, no,
saying.
I can see
A
that
lot of
maybe
people
it's like
do that.
someone's desire, but then it's kind of like,
Shouldn't
yeah,
we
I
do
mean,
what
like
we want to do?
no, but the society has made it so that if you
Do
have like a
something bad,
desire or like a crave to kill, you're like that's not a
you're an
good thing at all.
outcast. Definitely, you're
It is because you're ending other people's lives. Why would you do
oh
that?
yeah,
because you
100%.
wish to
I'm
do
just saying,
so.
like in certain
No,
situations,
why
like
would
if
you
you're
wish to
committing
end something you
manslaughter,
don't even know
if you
exists?
Because you find ending their life satisfying. I'm not saying I'm like this
what then? Do
individual.
you what if you kill a bug? You know, is that still murder?
Hmm.
That's a good question.
It. I see.
You're taking someone's
You're
something's life.
ending a life, but that life
Consciousness,
we don't know like what level of consciousness that has. Like, does it even realize
but
it's like what's happening to it
does it
before
really
you start
matter? I
Probably
killing
mean,
it?
but
does, but
we are as humans are. Oh, I was gonna talk about this one too. We as humans are blinded by our own like we're so there's like this thing called the spotlight effect. I've already talked about it on a previous episode. I'm pretty sure. But you know, we believe we're
first
the
one.
center of the universe and everything revolves around
Mhm.
us, and rightly so. I
Mm.
mean, we are the most advanced civilization on our planet to our knowledge.
Yeah,
And
so
we're
it's justified.
same thing in our universe. It's justified as of now, but it's only justified because we don't know
And
what
yeah,
lies in.
until we come across like more
Yeah.
advanced life,
So
if we ever do.
technically, the fact that we think we're the best just proves further that we're not the
But
best.
why would we think we're the best when we just got here by luck? How does that
Yeah.
prove
Oh
us?
yeah. I was
That's
gonna.
true.
Yeah. Just
I mean, like
life being
we don't even
random.
know it. We've been like it's
We
been
justify our existence
hundreds
through
of years of
other.
technological evolution, and we still don't even know does life exist on other planets.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
do. There was a lot of like really
apparently
very
I
good
saw this thing on the
chances.
internet. Apparently, we have a better like idea of what's in space than our own
Our
ocean or
ocean.
something
Yeah.
like that.
No, yeah, because
Like,
the thing is
damn.
that they don't really explore the ocean to the extent they explore space because they don't find value in it. Like, if you're gonna go
Mm,
that deep in the ocean,
I
what are you
don't
gonna
think it's
find,
simply.
right?
Also, I feel like in terms of the ocean,
diamonds.
like well yeah, Vera is technically like in some ways right. The universe is a lot more recognizable in terms of patterns, right? If you can recognize your own galaxy, then you can probably recognize things that go on in the billions of other galaxies in the universe. You know, it doesn't really it's like just taking like a census of like a small part of the population, and you can use that to represent the entire population, in this case the universe. So it kind of
You
applies to
know,
that.
a lot of people make the argument like what Elon Musk is doing on Mars. They're like,
Is
oh,
it good?
why are you willing to go to another planet? Why don't you like help Earth right now? But
It's
Oh,
that
oh
it's
yeah,
basically
I've seen
beyond
that.
saving anyways,
no,
and plus we
But
die
no,
yeah,
no.
we're
regardless.
Look,
so
this is
far.
what you can do. Like, take society before, like before when there was just like primarily like Europe was like the most advanced continent at that time.
Hmm.
and Christopher Columbus went exploring and he got North America. Look at what that did.
Yeah,
Even though you can
that's a
be seen
good
as, oh, you could
Mhm.
have
example for it.
stayed and helped Europe. Why did you
Wasn't
why would
that
you go
but
like why would you
wasn't
explore
that
further on?
like
But it's in
all
our
of that
human
wasn't
nature
that
to
just a
explore.
You know,
So
that
you know
misunderstanding
what
also
you
goes
of
back
like
to
what
keep
good and
happened?
doing it.
bad. The
Yeah,
Christopher
a lot of
Columbus.
people
With
probably like thought what
mhm.
he was doing was really like delusional. Like why would you go? No, I mean he was not. That was not his goal. But after he did that,
Wasn't his
a lot of
goal to
people.
take more land for
Yeah.
himself though?
No, his goal
But
was to
Yeah.
find spices
yeah,
originally,
Oh,
and
he
he
was something
stuck
with
on.
India, but then
I
he
don't
got like
remember. It
detoured
was so long
and he
ago
found
when I
that
learned
Yeah,
that.
that
continent.
goes back to good and bad because you know a lot of history well, okay, no, a lot of history recognizes Christopher Columbus as a good like not good. It doesn't necessarily
Depends where you.
display that he's
It
good, but
depends which nation you learn from.
yeah,
They're
it
all really different.
doesn't explicitly
What's that
say
thing?
whether he's good or
What's
bad,
that thing
but
you used to say, Jor? That like the wars were written on the point of view of the
oh yeah,
winners,
yeah, yeah. Wars are written
or
by the
history.
winners.
History is written by the point of view of the winner.
That
Like
is true.
technically,
History is
here
written by the
we
winners. Christopher
here we could
Columbus.
say that like I don't know,
And like
some
it
I can't
depends what
think
the
of anyone right
textbooks
now.
choose to prioritize.
Yeah.
Like they'll
Yeah.
only prioritize the stuff that happened to their
Yeah.
nation,
I
which is
mean,
Like
why
totally
would
justified.
in Germany or
Like
in Russia, don't they think that what Hitler did was not wrong? Was it Hitler or someone else?
no. Stalin,
Stalin?
Stalin.
Yeah.
Stalin. Yeah,
No,
they teach
but
them that Stalin.
no.
I don't know for sure,
This is
but
what they do.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
focus on his like war efforts rather than the genocide he did, which is kind of flawed in a sense because they're
But I
like,
mean,
oh, they're not taking into all the
if
lives
it's
he took.
justified, if
But
it's
he did win the
justified,
war, but it's still like he took a lot of lives, so there's a lot of gray area. I
do
still
we
think it's like
still
a bad thing to do that.
do we do the same thing here though? I don't think there's any. I don't know
going
any
back to the
bad like
Elon Musk
people that
thing,
came from Canada.
right? You were talking about like, you know how, like, so wait, Vera, like, would you support going to Mars?
Yeah, definitely. It's
Arne,
like
what
the
Sure.
about
same. It's
you?
the same concept as going
Yeah.
from Europe to North America. They
Yeah.
advance
Yeah,
there. They can find new solutions to their
Yeah.
costs
problems.
more.
They
I
I
can
mean,
don't
I
think
don't
create
really
it's
new.
mind it.
okay if we're like, okay, the essentially the goal
But
of
like,
life is to multiply, right? That's what essentially life
yeah,
regards.
that's what our DNA tells us to do.
uh a
Hmm.
reference to AOT manga. Anyways, life wants to multiply. Now, say eventually our what am I saying? Eventually the planet Earth will be destroyed, right? Because the sun
Yeah,
will
the
reach a
sun's
critical
gonna die out.
mass, and in like 4.5 billion years or something like that. And at that point, Earth will be too hot to support. Actually, Earth will be too hot to support life in a billion years. I'm pretty sure. Um,
But yeah, dude, yeah, we got what you're saying. Like it'll end
yeah,
eventually.
it'll end
I mean,
eventually. Yeah. So if that's the case, and we as a race need to multiply, we need to spread our we need to spread the roots of our life across the entire universe. I
yeah.
mean, for exact, I mean, once, I mean, that could go like we could talk about so much about like why life wants to multiply. Why do we even care about it? But if we need to do that, then we need to obviously journey to other planets. We need to become a type 2 and type 3 civilization, harnessing the power of our
Oh
planet.
yeah, we like every we need to be able to harness like energy out of I don't know like lightning or thunder.
Yeah.
I saw
But
something
like
like that. Yeah,
when
if
you
we,
explore to like a further place, it develops technology like so well. Like they develop better ships, they develop better ways to like support their food and transport all their stuff that could be used for many different things. Just like if we were
that's
able to get to Mars, look at all the technology we've used and how it can be used for
Yeah.
different things.
Not like for example,
but then
type
the
1
question lies:
civilization.
can we sustain life on Mars? We don't even know that yet.
I
But
mean,
if we're
no,
It's
we
able
like
to
can.
like if we're able to look at all the other stuff we can do with that, with all the stuff we've learned,
yeah,
I mean,
that's what
technically,
the
right
thing.
now, Elon Musk does have a plan for it. Just has to be put into action.
Yeah, it has
Technically,
to be executed
it
right
is
now.
possible to support life on Mars, right? I mean, it's not. It won't be. It won't be perpetual. You can't just. I mean, no energy system is perpetual right now, as you know. Like, for example, I was talking about the Type 1, Type 2, Type 3 civilizations. A Type 1 civilization is a civilization that can harness the entirety of the resources of their planet, and right now humans are 0.7%. I mean, 70% there on being a Type 1
Yeah.
civilization. We've
Mhm.
almost harnessed our entire planet. Type 2 is harnessing the power of our sun, our star.
Mhm.
And you know, there's various like things to do that, like a Dyson sphere. Anyways, Type 3 is harnessing the power of our galaxy, which means we can like spread to other systems in order to multiply. So we need to, we need to do that eventually, right? Because we need to become a civilization that hopefully understands our universe, or maybe we're simply meant to just experience the things our universe has to offer to us. And once we
We'll
die,
never we'll never know that because we don't know how many lies we're told. Because it depends
I
like
mean,
what the people
technically,
leading our society choose to tell us or what they choose to teach us when
but do
we're.
those people who are leading our society even know the answer themselves?
That's true. They
I don't
might
think they
have it,
do.
but they might not have it. It depends
I
what they
really
choose
don't
to do.
think they do. What
Probably don't. But what if they somehow come across the answer? What do you think I'll do with it?
the answer to our existence?
Yeah, or just like
No one could
how is
understand
a
it.
really they figure out like an answer to a really like I don't know abstract or like
Yeah.
noteworthy topic that humanity's been like I don't know
There's two
struggling to
sides to
find out
it.
for so long. What would they do with it? Would they like tell everyone or do they keep it a secret for their own good? Which is like connecting to our next
Their
topic.
own good. I don't know. I don't know what kind of goodness they could extrapolate from that information, but uh, uh
What
Depends
if
on the
it's used to
person.
protect us? Like what if there's
I
a
don't think they would tell people, but because it would first of all, let's say they find
It
out.
depends on the person and and like how bad the information is. Like if
Yeah.
it's like something that can scare the general public,
Yeah.
they're probably not gonna say
what
anything.
if it's the truth though? What if the
The
public
truth
really wants the truth?
the truth is what humans believe the
Depends on
truth
what
to
the
be.
truth is.
Okay,
That's where you can call it a carefully constructed lie
you
because
know
there's so
how
much thought they put into it.
yeah, you know
What
how
they choose
history
to
is
tell us.
written by the winners, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Same concept. Our society is written by the people in power, obviously, right? That's what we're saying.
Yeah,
But the truth the truth is written by those who choose to believe in it. The truth is just like there when we talk about philosophy in a later podcast, truth is just an ideal that we as philosophers or humans or anyone who may try and contemplate their universe, it's just an ideal that you can never reach. And it's not simply because it's subjective, but it's truth because truth fundamentally is a lie because it is what
saying
you
that
want it to
everything we
be.
know that's like a fact, it's probably not. It's just
I mean,
what we
our
believe.
and also like if
I
like
mean, it could be. You never
religion
know.
is
I think
our
what you're trying to
Then
say is that
what would you call math then? Would you call that a lie as well?
no,
religion.
but
I mean, math is just
math is what everything was built off of. So
no, math is just another creation by humans to understand their universe, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
a way
like
to
another
explain
religion.
things. It's technically not a truth, but
It's not a
it
truth.
is.
It's just a justified
It's really
means of
trustable
finding it.
because it's usually very consistent. That's why humans like depend on it so much.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what do we even define as math? Just numbers. It
And numbers, measurement, stuff like that.
it's
measurement. I say measurement's probably the
so
biggest
if
thing.
okay, let's say our universe is something that's out of the bonds of the bonds out of the bounds of our human mind, right? Then
So like another dimension basically.
yeah,
We haven't
something
Yeah.
wouldn't
like
know what it
that
is.
we just cannot comprehend, like it's a fourth dimension or something like that. And maybe our purpose
Yeah.
is just simply as abstract, or maybe it's the same thing as like as we believe our concept of God. Um, then like how we could never dumb it down into math or any kind of measurement, right? So there would be no use thinking, like there's no use, technically there's no point in thinking about our purpose, because if our purpose is something so great, then we would never be able to understand it in the first place. Why even search for it? Why do we as
That's like
humans?
that you can connect it to that like you know that like fish pond like explanation like if there's like a fish in a pond the whole pond is its universe unless like a higher power moves it to
Yeah,
another
you see
environment. It
Interstellar,
thinks
right?
everything around the fish is its like
Is its
everything.
universe, yeah.
I don't
And
think
if
Interstellar
you
is.
try to I don't know you can explain something to a fish, but if you manage to like
Yeah,
tell them that there's things out there, it wouldn't know what to
it
do
would,
because it
yeah.
hasn't experienced it.
I
Just like
saw this.
if you tell us that there's a fourth dimension, we would be like I don't know, like just mind boggled. Like what are we supposed to do with
I
that
don't
I
think
mean,
information?
we
even
would
if
even
you
I don't think fourth dimension would be. It's a pretty
We
bad
we
metaphor.
can't even understand what it is because
capabilities
we
and
haven't
like
seen anything more than that.
No, we
if
Like
you tell a
imagine if we
fish
lived in a
something, it
2D
wouldn't even be
world
able
and
to do
someone told
anything
us
with
it's a
it.
third dimension. What would we think the third dimension was?
huh?
Would we like would
Well,
it be really
we've already
obvious?
constructed a fourth dimension mathematically.
Mm,
No,
Uh,
like visually. What
yeah,
about
but like
visually?
visually, what
we've
would you
seen it.
think a fourth dimension is?
No,
Yeah, but
What
is
would
it
you
like that
change
cube
that
inside a
engine?
yeah, yeah,
cube, or is
yeah.
it like, yeah, I don't.
It's like a juxtaposition kind of.
Someone told me the fourth dimension is like space time. I don't
No,
know
no,
what that means.
Oh, right
But
now, okay. Basically, actually, it is time. Well, yeah, the fourth dimension is time. Yeah, it is. Yeah, what I'm saying. Yeah, it
Wait,
is.
like again, like if like the leaders of our society get answers to stuff like this, what would they do with it? Like stuff that's like, how about this? They come across an answer that's really, I don't know, that really like changes the way we think,
Yeah,
and it can, yeah, it could scare us, but it's the truth, and it answers a lot of questions we've had.
I
But it will definitely
that's
scare
what isn't that
humanity.
what
What would they do?
isn't that what
What would they
string
do?
theory is? Not not
no, that's not what
not to
string
what you
theory
were
is.
saying, Veer. Sorry, but not to what Veer was saying, but like perceiving the fourth dimension and stuff. I
No,
just
that's
thought
not
of that
what
now.
string
Sorry,
theory is. String theory
perceiving
is basically
dimensions.
just a way of okay. So string theory is a way of basically solving the theory of everything for us as for human. So if string theory is a viable solution to a problem we have in physics, I forgot what it is. Uh, then it would solve the theory of everything. We would figure out everything in our universe. But basically, string theory is about this way of thinking about particle. It requires for the universe to have 11 dimensions. That's all. That's what I something I remember. Which is why mathematicians and physicists are working on trying to construct the universe with 11 dimensions, and no one's had any luck. Uh, and string theory is just like I forgot what it was. I feel like saying
Okay,
it's
they say that it's like rather than visualizing the universe as particles, you visualize it
as
as strings,
strings.
and
Yeah,
apparently that like I
their
don't know, like
frequencies. Yeah, I just remembered. Uh,
it makes it
Oh
seem
yeah, I
better
remember
or
watching
something.
that on a
the
video.
It's
It
like
makes it
frequencies
easier to
we've got like
film
these
something. I
fundamental
can't
particles in
remember.
our universe,
I'm not
and
smart enough to know what that is.
the frequencies that
So it's cool though.
strings, yeah, the
okay,
frequency that
so
strings vibrate on.
Anyway, though,
if they come
just a
across
thought.
like a really I don't know like a an
Groundbreaking
answer
thing, yeah.
that won't hurt humanity, like proving that the string theory is real, what would they tell us? I
Or
think that they
proving that
would.
string theory
Um,
is real.
Yeah,
For
see,
example,
proving that
that
string theory
yeah.
is real, that 100% have to tell. They would tell us. Yeah, not even
Okay,
have
then
to. They
A
would.
lot of
I
It's
think
people
it's
like
like
a
no. I
discovery.
think a reason they could do that because if they tell the public, they can probably expand on the thing even more because more people have. They,
But
everyone can use
half
their
the general
knowledge
public
to
wouldn't
expand on.
even be able to understand what
Oh,
that
but
even
the
means,
small
though. That's the
percentage that
thing.
can, if they get that information, that's gonna be a big jump
But the
forward.
thing is, a lot of
Yeah.
people even doubt just like things that we like for us, like we would just recognize as like not basic knowledge, but like a lot of people just completely like just are not ignorant, like they just completely deny everything about our world. Like like if you tell them like
It depends how they like grew up as well.
yeah,
Because
yeah, I
if
mean
they had
their
like
religious background.
if their trust was like really I don't know like not absolute, then obviously then they wouldn't trust or they
Like
wouldn't
for
believe a lot of
example,
things.
if you take like the string theory, right, in which we prove the theory of everything, we construct our universe, like we figure out our universe, and maybe it's perpendicular to some things that some like religious people believe. Like let's take all the Abrahamic religions, for example, right? I don't mean to oppose them because I'm part of an Abrahamic religion as well, but let's just say they find something and uh it kind of opposes that. Now, the Abrahamic religions take up what 1.7 billion Christian people, 1.4 billion Muslim people. Forgive me, I forget how many
Yeah.
Jewish people there are, but let's just say it all adds up to 3.5 billion people, right? Which is half the world.
Okay.
Half the world, half the world is now is is completely doubting the government. Half the world is completely doubting uh, the things that the government has shown us. Half the world is I don't know how would how
I get what you mean, but the thing is, people are all there's always gonna be someone that doubts something. Like people still believe
exactly.
the world
But
is
half the world are all on
a
these
flat.
same beliefs that not even that, like maybe they believe maybe they believe what the government is telling was uh for example telling us, right? And they believe this. Now what did they do? Like their entire concept of their universe has been thrown apart, like think about this.
Yeah.
uh, an extreme religious person in their beliefs and their morals, and they've aligned them to be the type of person they are, and they're probably a very good person. uh
Hmm.
and now for example, string theory has been proven, and now our we figure out that our universe is, I don't know, completely random. It's a dice roll, and there was no point in thinking about it as if we go to heaven or hell or anything like that. It's everything's pointless. Now, what do people do? They don't care
That's true.
for
Like,
they don't care about going
but-
to heaven or hell anymore. They just want to enjoy their current life. So what do? They, I don't know, rob the bank. They get money. They rob houses to get some money. They
But
do
why would they
all
do
they
that?
can
Because
to survive.
there's such a big consequence to that. If you commit a crime like that, even
We
if that
What's the
crime will give you like a
consequence?
short-term benefit,
Going
the
to
long
jail?
term is horrible. Yeah, it's such a bad
I mean,
long term.
if
If
you're
they don't
I
get
feel
caught.
like going to jail when you're poor or something is probably a
Yeah, that's even
W.
better actually.
Because like
Some jails
you
are
have
actually
somewhere that you have somewhere. I mean, obviously jail's not a good place, but you have somewhere to sleep. You have somewhere to eat. All of that's basically for free. You just sacrifice your freedom.
But like homeless shelters also
That's the
exist.
thing.
Yes.
That's the only
homeless
thing.
shelters aren't that
Yeah,
good.
but
Remember
homeless
Mr.
shelters,
Holtz?
yeah, they don't always So I think it depends on where you are, but essentially a homeless shelter, what they'll do, I don't think they just accept people. They have limitations. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They can't just keep giving. So it's basically first come first serve every night or whatever.
There's some
I
Swiss
see.
prisons that are better than a lot of homes.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I saw
insane.
a photo.
Yeah, a lot of
Mm,
some other
thing.
places in Scandinavia have that
Yeah,
as well. like-
Scandinavian
I don't
countries, yeah.
even know. I don't even know if that's real though. That's the thing.
No, I saw
Might
like a
be.
Vox
I've
video
seen.
on it.
No, because in their
Oh,
society
I'm
they believe in
probably-
rehabilitation rather than punishment,
Yeah.
which is a good
Yeah.
thing. And their crime rates are really low, but you have America that has a completely different ideology. and the crime rates are
Exactly. I
insane.
mean, they
they do have a
America
lot
is
of
hell
people.
bent on.
It's not like
punishing
it's
the
their
people who
fault
do
though.
something
I
bad.
mean,
it is their fault.
I mean, it's
who else's fault is it?
no. I'm saying like you can't really blame them for believing in punishment ideology and stuff. They're
Why
just trying to cut down crime. They should by showing other people like, listen, if you want to do this is what's gonna happen to you
It hasn't
too.
worked for
Isn't
how
it
many
their
years?
fault
doesn't-
that they're not
yeah, it
thinking
doesn't
of a different
work.
How does it
ideology?
continue?
It doesn't work,
If
but
the
I
crime rates are
mean,
still like insanely high, why
what are
aren't
they
they considered
supposed to
like
do now?
It-
criminal reform?
I feel like saying that you're a product of.
I feel like
mean,
they've tried that though.
What is
They've
it?
tried that and it hasn't. I'm pretty sure they had.
me
I
see.
I think they had this ideology where like, yeah, we should try rehabilitating. I feel like I'm pretty sure that's where rehabilitation centers.
No,
came
but the
out
thing
came
is,
from.
with that, then a lot of people in
I might
society
be
will say, "Oh,
100% wrong,
you
but-
can't rehabilitate
Rehabilitate a
some
murderer.
crimes." Yeah,
Yeah,
a
you
lot of
can't
society will
rehabilitate
say
a
that,
murder.
but
I mean,
they
that's
haven't
true
heard that
though.
there's
But
very-
That's true though.
but
There's some
what-
people who can't like pass down the opportunity to kill someone. That's the
there's a
thing.
lot of
Like,
people,
how do
like,
you rehabilitate that?
there's a
It's
lot of
their
people who
That is
mindset.
murdered
They see someone
for a
and they're just
family
hungry for
member
the kill.
who got like abused or something, and then they murder. Is that
but
is that
that's
murder
where
justified?
that's where like law and society has it's a very
No.
gray area. Like if
I don't
something like
think
that
honestly.
happens,
I
Or
don't
they-
even think that's a
back
great.
to
I
good and
still think
bad.
that's wrong. I still think that's wrong. Like, why would you kill someone that you said? Let's say a murderer kills someone you love, and then you want revenge, so you kill them. How does that make you better than what they did?
It's not
Even
trying-
if it's
not about being
justified.
better.
then that cycle
Then
of
it-
revenge
but
will never
We're
end.
hung up
Yeah, but
on
then
this
it-
idea of being better than someone else.
Yeah,
because
but
of what
then
we've
it's not
done,
just
but it
then it's
doesn't
not
matter.
justified murder. It's just murder for murder's sake.
No, it's just
It's not
it's
you
just
can't
balancing the
justify killing
equation, bro.
someone unless it's like
Military. I mean,
no
that's-
unless it's like self protection. Like if someone's trying to kill you and you kill them first, I mean, I guess I could see that happen. Not like it happens, but like murdering someone because they murdered someone you love, I don't think that's
you
proper.
can call that like secondhand. I don't know,
Then you
bullshit.
can't even like
Secondhand
why would you
back-
blame the person that murdered you? Just did the exact same thing to them. What makes you better than them? Nothing. You
'Cause you
did
had a
exactly
justified
what they
reason.
did.
That's just humanity's revenge. They think that
Is
oh,
it not a
I'll-
justified reason? Technically?
Revenge isn't justified. No, revenge is just you. It's like I can't. I'm sorry. I can't see anyone justifying revenge. It makes you. If you want
No,
it to
but
be
in-
justified,
in the heat of the moment, you don't know what else to do.
if
you're,
you
like,
want
so
something to
overcome
be
by grief, you don't know
justified,
what to
I
do.
feel like you have to be better than what happened to you. Like
Okay, but
you can't murder someone because
how do you have to
You
be
should just
better
let the
then?
criminal, the justice system take its place. Then
I
you don't
mean,
have to be better.
You're
than
doing the
them,
same
and that's
exact
why
thing they
people
did
murder
to
so
you,
many
right?
things.
So look, they did a negative thing to you. You did a negative thing to them. Two negatives make a positive. Boom.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it does not
because-
work like that.
No, listen.
It-
After you do
It's not
that
like
second
balancing a
murder,
chemical equation.
a
It's
third
not-
one will probably come along, then a fourth, fifth, the sixth, and until it never stops.
It's not even
It's a
that. It's not
cycle.
just
I
like
mean, that's what
balancing a
wars
chemical-
are
It's
they
not
not?
balancing an equation.
No,
It's.
I mean,
You
wars
have to
are
also
much
take
more-
morality in
They're
it.
much less emotional. They're a lot
Morality,
about,
but
like-
morality is subjective again. Going back to these ideals of good and bad that we never hope to reach, because every human is different and every human is flawed because of their subjectivity of good and bad. which is why we should
Well-
But we
completely
can never have
abandon
anything.
these
We can never be
concepts.
fully objective because we have emotion, and if we don't have emotion,
Exactly.
we're no longer human. So you kind of
Well,
need some.
regardless, I
But what
don't
does it
think
mean to
that
be human? Is
you can.
meaning to be human doesn't mean like we all have these things like meaning to be being human is meaning to be curious or like I don't know, just like human is being
Alive.
caring for the people around you. That is not what
Mm,
humanity is. Humanity is simply another life form, and all we need to do
Yeah,
is
it's like
multiply,
it's
and we
like
can
getting
release the
self
chemicals
benefit
we
in the
want.
most efficient way. That's basically what humanity is.
Yeah, it's all about humans should be
Oh,
selfish because that's all we're
no,
good for. What else is there to
but that
offer for
no.
us to the
that's what
universe?
that's what our like. I think you call it like your lizard brain. That's what it tells you to do. Like your fight or flight. It just wants you to live. That's all it cares about.
Okay, but why should we ignore that? Shouldn't we? That's the core of
What
us as
But we've
humans.
what
evolved much past that.
what
That's why we have.
what makes that fair for other people though? What's the point of being by yourself? What makes that better
Because that's
than
what you want
like
to
if
do. I don't
if I decide to murder you because I'm selfish, and I
then
decide to
do
rob
it.
everyone else's stuff, okay. And now I go to jail and I'm just nothing. Basically, everything
Then
bad
boom,
happens. Like a bunch
that's
of bad stuff happens to me.
okay.
Like
You,
you can't.
it's a consequence. That's what
Why?
it is.
That's what society's built on.
But
You
why do
can't.
we
You
put
have
so
to
much
treat
value to
everyone
such
fairly.
things? Everything
Because it's a
happens.
human
Because
Everything's
it's
life. You
passing.
don't know.
wrong.
No, because you don't know what that life could have come out.
Even if right and wrong is subjective, there's still there's still so much that's way more on one side than the other. Like
Is it?
taking
But that's just what we
yeah,
believe.
100%.
But okay, let's say there
100%.
was an
Then
inverse
okay,
universe.
if you want to be selfish and go out and murder someone right now,
Okay,
do
And
it.
if I really
why?
wanted to, I would.
But
No,
why
because
we should be selfish, right? So just go
you
do it
should
now.
no because
But I
there's
I
a
don't
can go
want to.
consequence.
I can walk out
You
I
be
can walk out the
selfish
store and
because
kill
you
my
do what you
sister.
want to
But
do,
I'm
but
not
I
going
don't
to
want
because
to do it.
I want to like withhold a proper
But
relationship with
I don't
people.
withhold these things because of what society enforces upon me. I do it because I do what I do just because I want to do it. If I really wanted to kill someone, then maybe I could. Maybe I would. If I really
Yeah,
wanted
but
to.
what if someone else is trying to live? What if you go? I can't press down the issue to kill a little innocent baby. But what if like they just want to live too?
Okay.
The whole point of humanity is to have
Very
everyone.
dark somehow. I don't know how, but
What what's the point of humanity if everyone's not
There is no
living in
point. That's the
harmony?
point. There is no point. Why do we keep thinking? Why do we keep giving ourselves this
Well,
self-appointed purpose?
that's just a really bad life then. That just
There is no
sucks.
purpose to the life.
okay, then why don't you try to enjoy it to your fullest extent?
Yeah, so why
Exactly.
don't you just try and enjoy it with people you around you? If you find
But that's what we
happiness
think
in loneliness,
should
then
be
just be
enjoying
lonely.
our life. That's what we
No,
think
but,
should be enjoying
but
our life.
committing crimes like that won't bring you happiness. It
Yeah.
brings you guilt.
Okay, no, there's always different people. There's always people who've grown up in different
No,
lives.
but the vast majority. If
There's
I
we
mean,
many-
there's
do,
always
like, a
people for
census,
everything,
all
though.
of
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Everyone's different for a reason. You can't ever satisfy everyone, so you just have to make sure
Exactly.
everyone stays
No,
in
no,
You
okay,
can't
line.
if you
satisfy
can't
That's
satisfy
the
everyone.
whole
everyone,
point.
would you satisfy the majority or would you satisfy the
Ex-
side that you most resonate with? What would you do?
You'd satisfy no one.
Why? At least satisfy
No.
someone.
No.
You can't satisfy. No, what? The whole point is to satisfy. The question was
The
if
whole point.
you had to satisfy someone, what side would you take? You can't just satisfy no one.
Why
That
not?
makes
Not an
no
option.
sense.
It's not an
I-
option.
if- if-
That was
two
not an
options.
option. It was not an option in the
Two options.
question. It was
Fine,
It was not
okay.
like
You
A
satisfy
or B,
someone
then
or you
fill in a blank.
satisfy no one. I just kill myself. Boom.
Why? That's so dark.
That just sucks.
Sucks. Okay, look here. Okay, take an inverse universe. Okay, everything we have right now, just take the opposite of it. Well, take a universe where murdering is fine, and I don't know, just
No, you
letting
can't have it
someone.
both ways.
How is
You
that
can't say
sustainable? No one
you
would
can't
live.
say
It would
you can't
end.
say humanity is about evolution and keeping yourself alive. It doesn't work like that.
I
You
didn't
have to
say
pick a side.
I didn't say humanity is about
Yeah, but this whole
evolution.
argument is about saying like we want to keep like ourselves like we only care about ourselves. We have to be selfish, but we also want to like grow. That's the whole point.
Can't grow
We should be able
But
to grow
why do?
as
But
a
okay, look, I
society.
was saying
That's the
when I was
whole
talking about
argument.
multiply, I was talking about life's need to multiply. I used the wrong word. Not purpose. Need. Life itself feels perpetuated by this idea that it needs to multiply. Okay, that's what life. That's what
Our
all
DNA,
living
how do we
things
change
feel.
that? You can't just recode it.
I know I'm not trying to take it in the practical sense. I'm just trying to take it in the abstract thought sense because we can think about things more like openly in that kind of way. But okay,
Comes down to the bottom line that society is flawed because you can't ever satisfy everyone. That's it. That's basically the whole point.
but why?
I mean,
But okay, let's we take that inverse. We go to the inverse world. Maybe that the fact that society is flawed because you can't satisfy everyone is a good thing. Now what? But then we have no more
Mm,
more. But then take
sure.
a,
No,
another
that's true. Like,
universe.
why would you satisfy a bad person? But then again, how do you know they're bad? So
Why?
you can't say that either.
Why are we thinking that they're good and bad? Exactly, it's an inverse thing, right? We're all hung up on these
Yeah, yeah.
self-appointed
To
premises
someone
of
you'll
good and
be
bad
good. To
and the
someone you'll be
self-appointed
bad. It
premises of our
doesn't
life.
really.
But it's pointless, right? So if everything is pointless and the only thing that we're biologically governed by is our need to multiply. But
And
we're
survive.
smart creatures, right? We like to think for ourselves. We see that in our world we wish to do something beyond simply survive. Okay, because if our biological need was to simply multiply, right? Then why do people make such poor life choices that might or end up getting them killed? We go skydiving, we smoke, we drink alcohol, we eat unhealthy food. Why? Because we like to do these things.
It's short term pleasure. No,
We
at
like
that
to
time
do
you're not
these
thinking the
things.
long term.
But is long-term pleasure living?
What do you mean?
No,
Is
I mean, never
are
mind.
you
My version of long is very
who would be happier if a
not
person who died
proper.
at 60 who would be happier, a person who died at 60 who lived a conventionally very fulfilling life, or a person who died at 100 who had an insane amount of problems in their life that they
You
couldn't.
can't measure happiness. You can't. So that question can't be answered.
I mean,
What do you
What
measure?
more?
You measure
I
like the
mean,
amount
if
of like. You can't measure
the
it.
amount of
Measured in
dopamine in your
cups of
brain.
coffee.
But how does that
How do
like
you
affect?
measure dopamine?
I mean, if it's a chemical, I
Three
guess you could
s-
measure it.
3 square centimeters? Like
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
You have to,
if
but
it's a physical thing, then you can measure it.
it's
Unless we're
not
trying to
though.
say what it is a physical thing. Everything in the world is physical,
So
unless it just doesn't exist. What you're saying? Dopamine is just a
no.
thought.
it's not a concept. It's actual
It's
chemical.
an
Ye-
actual thing. Yeah, you'd
okay,
be able to
whatever.
measure
Leave
it or
it.
something.
Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it.
But
Anyway, we're basically reaching the 40-minute mark. So,
We
and
are,
if
but
anyone
we're
else
not
has
done.
any, well, we're 37
we can
minutes in.
no, but
So
not. I think we've gotten to the point where we've talked about enough about society where we can
there's too much
like
argument
We
going
have.
on. We all
and
have
no
very
and
different views.
no, not even that. We can take all the things we've talked about and extend it to further topics like the universe in general,
Yeah.
or like I don't know things like that.
I'm
But
just
I
saying,
think
if all
Next
we
episode,
uh,
Society Part 2.
okay, to summarize, okay, look, to summarize my point, right? It if our we're physiologically governed by this need to multiply, but we're smarter than that, and what we govern ourselves is our need to basically pleasure ourselves. We do what we like to do despite of what it might get us killed or not sooner than later. So if that's the case, then why not simply do what brings you happiness in the short term, right? Because if our universe and our life is meaningless, and I'm pretty sure in my opinion, everything we do is utterly meaningless. I don't like uh let
and there are different answers by
if I
everyone.
were to
So
murder every single person on this earth, then
whoa,
so
We're
what?
gonna get canceled this episode.
you can't say stuff like that.
1000%. We're done. It's the last episode of the
I'm just
podcast, guys.
saying.
It's been a good run. No, I'm kidding.
All right, guys.
No, I
GG,
get what you
easy, well
mean.
played. Okay.
All right, let's go play Valorant. No, I'm kidding. Okay, but yeah, the idea behind this is society. To conclude, society is a very heavily flawed
Concept.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
concept.
thing.
Thank you. You can never have it more. You can never have it two ways. You know, like everyone has their own ideas of what society should be. That's why we have politics. I think. Anyway,
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is actually kind of why
that
we
is
have
why we
politics.
have politics. Yeah.
But I think politics is pretty stupid in my opinion.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
talk
I'd
about that
say
in another episode.
no. We're not talking about
We
politics.
no, we
on
could
this
talk about
podcast.
politics. We said we wouldn't, but we
We need
could.
to be very. We need to be very careful though.
I've
There's-
literally
there's-
just polarized our entire audience by
there's
saying I could murder
there's
everyone.
there's people who will cancel you because you support a certain thing.
Yeah, that is true.
But anyway, that's a conversation for another episode. Thank you everyone for listening this far. I know this was kind of a tough one to go through because it
Best
was
cliffhangers.
extremely dark, but I think we had good conversation
I
throughout
think it
it.
was kind of funny.
We're getting
as
better
well.
at this podcasting. Yeah, it was. We're getting better at this podcasting thing,
Somewhat.
and
yeah.
we've officially hit the 40-minute mark. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. All our
We're
links to our social media will be in the description of wherever you're watching this, which is probably YouTube, right? That's where most of our viewers are. I don't think many people watch on Spotify,
I'll
but
upload on Spotify
yeah.
regardless.
This episode well, obviously
Episode
it'll come
2?
out on Sunday. You'll be listening to this on dude. This
They
was
might-
this
might
conversation
not
has killed my
necessarily
brain.
Listening on Sunday.
Yeah, but I guess
Whatever,
that's it for today.
That was fun. Rematch. Goodbye.
GG, easy.
See you next week.
Bye bye.
Skirt.